Right then, so we've set up the bed chair, which looked very impressive. I bet you're looking forward to getting a few nights skip on it.
Yeah, I could do with some, to be fair. It's been a really busy couple of months, to be fair, yeah. So I suppose where we come on to now is we're all set up, we're all sitting down now. It's getting to the point where you want to get your rods out, or maybe even got your rods out, and you want to change your rigs over. And this is why we've got what's called the Uni Rig bin, okay? And it's designed to cover pretty much any rig that you possibly want on any given time, okay? So we've made it long enough to cover a section for zigs, a section for your stiff links or your chod rigs, and a section for your, your coated brays, etc. It's quite simple how it works. You've got a bit of foam. We've also incorporated a bar in there as well, so you can hang your hooks off. So there's no more like the foam digging into your hooks. If you're like me, I like to sharpen my hooks really well. I get paranoid if they're not as sharp as they can be. If they hang on the bar, the hooks won't dig into the foam at all. See what you can see here, to the left of you guys, you've got all my zig arrangements, and then where I go over to, got a few, well, I've got one chod on there for the time being, and then you've got my combis and my KD rigs, which are pretty much my #1 rig. One other good point about these as well, they do come with all the pins, and unfortunately I've took it off, but you do have a plastic, it's like a retainer that sits in here, which actually, if you use rig tubing or anything else like that on your hook, it keeps the angle of the actual bend as well. Conventional ones, if you used to actually sit it in like that, it bends the actual tubing out, whereas we've got a piece of designed plastic which will actually keep the bend in. But I don't use that system. I use a KD rig.
One thing that I think is important when I go fishing is time, because often, like, if you're going on a quick session or something like that, like rig tying takes up a lot of time, and I usually, when I go fishing, make my rigs when I'm there, just to like suit the situation. But with this, obviously we've seen other types around in the industry, but you can make your rigs up before you go, and you can be sure that they're going to be nice and tidy and neat when you pull them back out.
Well, that's it, they're all ready to go. I mean, the thing is, like yourself, I base all my fishing on the evolution of what the lake beds go, what's happening on the lake bed at a given time. So what I do is, I know from most lakes I fish what's going to be happening at what time of year, and I change my rigs accordingly to that. So when I turn up, even though I've tied them before, I'm going to have 3 or 4 different variations of the rig ready to go. So I know if I'm fishing over weed, or it's choddy, you want a chod rig, or more apparently so the zig rig right now, where the rig's quite straightforward. So all I do is I have a 2 foot, 3 foot, 4 foot, 5 foot of zig already tied. A few of my little secret weapons on there actually as well. I don't know if I should talk about them.
So you've got quite a few rigs on there. How many rigs can you probably fit on?
God, that's a bit of a builder's sort of quite.
I just want to give people the idea of if it's going to be used to them, I'm just...
Well, I've spaced these out quite well. I've got about 17 rigs on here, give or take, okay? If you went tighter, you could probably get about 30 rigs on there, I mean, it depends on how tight you want to get. We give you enough pins that I don't think you'll ever run out. So it's just about how much I mean, the thing is with me is I don't believe in making hundreds of rigs up, because, as I say, with the evolution of the lake and how things change throughout the course of the year, the rig you started off with at the beginning of the year, I believe, will be totally different to what you finish off at the end of the year. So I'll tie up 3 of each. Like I've got some size 10 Fang X's here, this for winter fishing, straight through braids. I've got some size 8s, which are my favourite Fang X's, and they're really good with the combi for like snowman rigs. Chod rig, you never know. Might be the way I look at it is I don't fish a chod that regularly, but what I do like about it is if I see a fish crash or a bosh at a distance, I can whack that on and I can get guaranteed presentation on it. And the zigs, well, this is something that I'm really getting into now. I really can't wait to this white stuff defrosts really, and
this sun's coming out, it might help.
I know. We might have to be sitting here a little while though, but there you go. One thing else to point out as well is what we've actually done is it's all right having a tube, I mean that's fine, but we thought, well, if there's a tube inside the foam, why can't we make use of that? So what we've actually done is we've actually put a little compartment now, and you can stick your bait and needles and everything else like that, but what I tend to do is I keep my file in there, right. So after every even if I cast out once, always check the hook, just give it a nice little brazing with the file, and away we go. So we've tried to make it not just something that holds your rigs, but it's got a little bit of practicality as far as holding your baiting needles and that as well.
And it comes with a little case as well. Where's that little...
Yeah, we've got the hard case as well, so they're all going to be protected.
So it keeps all the debris out.
Keeps debris out, stops your hooks getting caught on things, you know. It just makes it a bit more neat and more slick as well, you know. But it's a real solid plastic mould on there. You're gonna have a problem to break it, basically.
What's the official name of it, so people can have a look and see if they want to get one? Box Logic.
It's a Box Logic range,
right?
Okay, but this is called a Uni Rig bin.
Uni Rig bin.
Yeah, the Uni Rig bin. You don't need much more than that, to be fair.
No.
You know, on a day session, job done. You know, but I'll move over to the bucket hood in a minute.
Yeah. Do you want to do that now?
Yeah, we can do it now. Right, okay. I mean, you can have lots of luggage. I'm an overnight or a session, like a day session angler. I sneak in the odd overnight when I can. I want one bag that ticks all the boxes, and the bucket hood does exactly that. Okay, so. What I'll explain everything about it basically. Okay, right, we can take this out, but this is a really good accessory to go with it. Okay,
it's like a nice little comfy cushion for me.
Cushion. Well, yeah, I should have given it to you now. But yeah, what we've got is the bucket cushion. I spend at least 70% of my fishing looking out on the lake, and just I don't want bucket bum. Do you know what I mean? So we brought out this. It just gives you a bit more creature comforts, and also when you got a guest around like yourself, if I wasn't being so mean and stingy, I'll let you sit. Back up your bum now. There you go. See, it fits nicely on one of our Nash buckets. Okay.
Oh, that's a lot better.
It is alright, isn't it?
Yeah.
It just stops that, you know, that feeling going on. So what we've got here, basically, if I take out the bucket, because that's what it essentially is. It is basically an apron for a bucket. Okay. The greatest thing about it is it will hold a medium-sized Box Logic.
Right.
So we've got here, that just sits in there nice and neat. So I mean, I carry, when I do overnighters or something, I'm only taking about 3 or 4 leads and everything, you know, little essentials there. And what we've got here is a mesh as well. So after your session, you can chuck your leads and everything in there, and they sort of dry out. But I keep like, you know, whatever. I want my bits and pieces in there.
I mean, this kind of thing looks to me like it'd be perfect for going into spring. You know, when you've got like a few little chum mixers and stuff, you could put them in the bucket and just go stalking around the lake.
That's exactly where I'm coming to.
There you go.
Yeah, you see,
I can read your mind.
Yeah, you know it, mate. I mean, all my sessions, I have a 5 litre sort of bucket, and I'll show you all the goodies in there in a minute, okay? But basically what I like about this is I can keep the same tackle box for any situation. I just make sure I've got a couple of everything going on there. Okay, you've also got a little pouch, a little elasticated side here for your catty as well, and it's got a real nice padded sort of shoulder strap as well.
Good,
so you know, if you want to just go down and bait up, and you've got 10 kilos, because this will hold a 10 kilo bucket, okay, of bait or whatever, you've got a bit of pad. You know, sometimes when you're walking around all day, it's quite nice.
But then the other thing is you got this little cushion, and you can just go and
exactly right, mate. Complements it. But what I tend to do is I have at home got about 5 different buckets, okay, and they're all tailored for a different, situation. So I've got a bait bucket, I've got a stalker bucket, I've got a floater bucket, and I've got my session bucket, okay. Rather than having to take everything out and in again, all I do is I just take the bucket out and put the other bucket in, my stalker bucket and stuff sits in the car all the time, and then, you know, excuse the mess on this one. And the design of sort of like burn hole on it. You know, I was trying to keep myself warm with a candle earlier on in the year. We'll get rid of that for a second.
That little handle.
Yeah. But I mean, this is pretty much what you're going to get, and it just sits straight in there, and it will hold a 10 kilo bucket as well.
Yeah, that one's what, a half the size?
That's a 5 kilo bucket, but it's quite a wide one. You know, the Nashy ones are a little bit more slim, they slot in a bit more better. But yeah, if you do the fishing that I do, which is overnight sessions, day sessions, you know, when you ain't got much time, even a couple of hours, this pretty much ticks all the boxes, and it's very reasonably priced. I mean, I think it's around about 25-30 quid, you know. It's a really good bargain bucket buy.
How cheesy is that?
There you go. But it is a really good bit of kit. I wouldn't leave home without it, purely because the practicality of it, you know. But there we go.
So that's that. What else have we got to go through?
Well, we've got some toys and we've got a few bits and bobs here. I mean, what I can get out is some of. I've got here right now. I've got sort of like what you call like my overnight session bag and stuff. So you got PVA nuggets, foam, you know,
all in a nice resealable bag. So
yeah, got to be done that way, mate.
Yeah. I've made that mistake before.
Have you really? Oh, you know all about it. I mean, I'll go through the chain reaction products with you in a minute, but just to show you, rather than taking the bucket with me, I just take a selection of all the ones I want for that day or next couple of days. That will last me 2 days probably, you know, unless you're on a runs water.
So you're, what I can see you're doing here now is you're thinking ahead, planning ahead, so you don't have to carry loads and loads of stuff around.
Yeah, no, I don't want it. I don't want it. Everything about me is minimalistic. My missus, she has actually got a Fiat Cinquecento, right. Okay, and at the beginning of the year, I said to myself, if I can fit everything in a Fiat Cinquecento, then I know I'm fishing light enough. And now I can, when she takes my other car, I can bomb around in that, but at least I know I can fish effectively. You know? So there are some other bigger stuff in here. I mean, it's winter, but so we'll go for it. I brought them mainly for today, but you know, we've got the Amber Attract carp pellets here. Very, very good winter bait, these are. They're very digestible. Them fish with the Amber Attract boilies, again, we'll go over them in a minute. Compared
to your normal like halibut pellets, they're
yeah, I mean,
totally different, aren't they? They're like totally different colour, I mean, and it's because they don't have any oil in it, I guess.
Exactly. I mean, you got to be pretty mad to start using like heavy oil based sort of pellets around here. They're just they don't work for the carp, do they? They're not very digestible. Whereas these will break down, you know, over a period of time. And they've been designed this way. Basie put his stamp on there. Okay. You also got the monster squid. Never leave home with monster squid. It's pretty much my #1 sort of bait I've used over the last 18 months. When it gets a bit colder, I feel like it's a bit of a change. They'll go over to the Amber Attract. Again, though, we'll talk a bit more about that later on. I'm chucking them everywhere.
So what do you usually do with these pellets? So is there a certain method that you would go for, because you've got a few different types? I know, would you take a few different types when you go fishing, or would you stick to one?
I mean, I am Mr. Freezer Bag Man, okay? Because I know I can. Basically all my fishing is all about, if I can, baiting up prior to the fishing, okay? So when I actually go to the lake, I'm not going to need much bait, really. I mean, the chain reaction is great because it's giving a lots of attraction but not much distraction to the carp. I've already got the carp looking for the bait. I've been baiting up, you know, when I can sneak down for an hour or so. So I mean, there's a couple of reasons why I put this on. One, the anti-tangle elements, you know. Two, the speed as well. If I use pellets, that's great if I can throw them out there, but if not, we're looking at PVA bags, and they take time, and every second counts when it comes to, like, you know, my fishing. With these, you can thread them on, and I'll if we've got time, I'll show you a rig where and how I use them, you know. But I've got a selection there of the amber strawberry, the black, squid black, and the squid red. And in a couple of weeks' time, I'll also have some of the salt chain reaction as well. But I've got none of that to show you, unfortunately.
Let's go deeper into this.
Into the bucket, right. Okay, what should we get out next? These are one of my favourite tubs of pop-ups you can possibly get. The amber strawberry or the monster squid. I don't know if you're like me. I don't know if you ever sort of went...
I've used these before.
Have you? Yeah, you know. But I don't know, back in the day, I used to have like 15 tubs of every colour you can possibly want, every flavour combo and everything. And do you know what? It just sort of baffled me. I'd sit there for an hour and I'd think, oh, well, I haven't had a run. I'd change and change and change. Okay, once in a while I might get hit, but there's no real logic. You know, I could have just put them on, you know, chanced it really. So what we've done is we've got one flavour and several different colours, okay? So what you effectively got is you can fish them however you want. I like to fish snowman rigs, and a 15mm boilie and a 10mm pop-up balances a size 8 hook perfectly. Right. So, you know, and I just like a bit of colour, you know. It's just trying to get the carp to select your bait than the others. We've all done sort of day glow colours.
Believe it or not, on 2 of these, same size,
right,
I caught in France, when I was in France, I caught a 50-pound fish on 2 of them, just on their own.
See, that's it. And I'll tell
on
you
the yellow ones.
On the yellow. I mean, yellow's good. Yellow's a winner anywhere you go. My personal choice is the pinks and the whites. Pinks being Nain and Carp all over the country.
I think each lake does have its times when certain colours are working.
Yeah, it's different times of the year.
Yeah,
exactly, yeah.
Like I was in, going in France over the 2 years, you'd find like 2 or 3 weeks would be one colour, and then they'd go just turn off. They wouldn't even touch like any like snowman rig or anything. They'd just turn off, and then like they'd be on white and then orange, and it always changes. So I think it's good to have different.
I mean, yeah, it's giving you a variety of spice of life, especially if you like zig rigs and stuff like that. I mean, I use zigs. I like to use white baits or black baits normally, although things have changed slightly now because obviously the innovation of the zig bug that we're bringing out hopefully in March. Hopefully it'll be ready in the 5 lake show, but up to then I've been playing with all sorts of beasties and stuff like that, you know. But I say these give you multiple options. If you've got 3 rods, 3 different colours, and you like the snowman presentation, then I think you're on a winner. And it's just one tub, innit? I mean, you know, unless you've got a different flavour, because like, you know, I've got 2 here, and the only difference is one's monster squib and one's amber, and I can't really fault them. So I always carry these.
So they're good for like your little snowman rigs, and I mean, I've used these before as well, and chopped one in half, so it's even smaller, and just tipped it. You know?
In halves, anything like that. I mean, the thing is, the only limitation is your imagination, really, you know. And I think in this game, the more imaginative you can be, I mean, I like rig mechanics to be simple, but bait to you know, have a little edge. Then you know, 2 tubs, you can do anything. You could cut them in half, put 2 together. You could do anything, couldn't you? I mean, you could dip it. I mean, it's up to you. I mean, they're a pop-up, but they're a good pop-up, and they stay popped up. In fact, sometimes they're a bit too buoyant, which surprises me, and that's why I use shot to let them down.
Do they come in the different flavours as well? What is it like in the whole range of the Nash bait?
We're pretty much the top rod range is we've got pretty much all of them covered. I believe I do them for other flavours as well, but I mainly predominantly use the top rod, you know, range, which is the monster squid or the amber, and that's what my most experience is on. But if you go, they're available in all good tackle shops, you know. It's just again, it's about speed and being effective with the time you got, and not confusing yourself, you know.
And you won't have, like, you know, I don't know, half a dozen little tubs. You got 1 tub.
Yeah, no, that annoys me. It really makes me angry, you know. Although I
can see the frustration.
No, I'm not into it at all. I'll just quickly go through as well. I've got some glugged monster squid pop-ups.
That looks quite old.
Yeah, it is old, and how good. I mean, it does change the buoyancy of the pop-up. But you gotta love it. Yeah. So I mean, you can. I don't know if you can see. You wouldn't be able to see, but some really dark ones in there. They've been soaking for, I don't know, 2 years. I don't know.
I've got some pretty old ones in there.
But I think they're really. Again, it's just about a little bit of an edge, single baits, you know, stuff like that. I love using them. One other thing, just for the chod rig, extra buoyant pop-ups, right? These are the 18 millers. Which are, oh yeah, they're cool. You know, again, they're not cork. Okay.
They're a nice, like, I don't know. That the colour is quite like beigey. Do you know?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, it washes out a little bit. I mean, just with any bait, but then so does monster squid wash out. So I mean, effectively over a course of a session, you're going to be sort of half mimicking what you're fishing on over anyway.
They're not like bright, are they? They're
not offensive. I mean, I use these to fish over a big bed of bait, you know, with a chod rig or something like that. Not very regularly do I actually use a chod rig though. You know, I'm more a greater believer in, you know, KD rigs, you know, missing link and stuff like that. But they're there, and that's the option, okay. And they're not too offensive, and size-wise, they fit in this bucket fine. What else should we look at?
What else have we got?
Well, we've got some Lee specials. Right.
Oh, I've got some of them.
Have you? Oh, see, there you go.
I got them off Lee.
Yeah, to say Lee's. At all the shows, if you come to like 5 lakes in the next couple of weeks, or one of our road shows, or any one of the trade shows we do in the winter, whatever, you're gonna fall. If you come over to our standover, you're gonna come over to see Lee. Okay. If you fall upon Lee, he's got some absolutely special little pop-ups. He makes them all himself. He'll make them actually there at the show, or on special requests for us lot. But and he comes up with some amazing combos. I mean, the barrel pop-ups, they are monster squid, with a little bit of special stuff in them that he won't even tell me what it is, you know. But they are nail and carp, and I do exactly what you do, you know, chop them down, half of them. You know, a bag like this could last me a season.
Oh, yeah, easy.
You know, easy. But I love them. But so they're always in my bag. Pink's the one, mate. I love pink. Guess it. What else have we got then? Okay, I'll show you one more other thing that's in here, which is another creation by Lee.
I haven't got any of these.
Nah. Now in November, one of the lakes I fished, I went to Elson's Lake, which is, well, it's about 3 hours away. I was only on a guest session sort of thing, and it was looking pretty bleak, but the pressure, the pressure system was dropping down, and nobody's had any carp for ages. Yeah. So I thought I'd try one of these, and they are pop-ups, the monster squid pop-ups. But what Lee's done is, over a course of time, is he's saturated them, okay, with a few little special ingredients. Saturated, so that actually, pretty much, you cut them in half. They look like they've taken on the full bait, but he's also put a robin red crust on them. Now,
they've almost got, as you first look at them, like a burnt effect.
Yeah, yeah, it looks like burnt, but that is in fact soaked robin red crust.
And it looks to me as if you put that in the water, it'd slowly leak off.
Well, this is it. I mean, Lee says to use them over a long period of time. If you're basically fishing like a couple of day session, it's a sort of bait that he said, look, you put out on a Monday and you can put it in on a Friday and it'll still be leaking off, you know. Because of the weather and how it was in November, it was quite mild, but it's still a bit nippy. I put one out, and amazingly, about 4 hours later, it ripped off with a little tinker mirror, yeah, which is great. And then, I mean,
but if you didn't use them, you would never.
You'd never know, would you? Yeah. It could have been one of those things, but they give me confidence. When it's one of those times when everything's looking bleak, and you think, what else can you do? One of these boilies will come out, you know, on a chod, or even, just like weighted down. It's exactly what I use.
Nice.
But that's all my bait.
Yeah.
I've also got in here
I've seen one of them before.
Yeah, you probably have. Maybe not like this though. Okay, so what basically I've got the bolt machine. Okay, but a lot of my fishing this year in sort of springtime, when the lakes defrost, I'm going to be zigging a lot. Okay, now it's great having a zig coming off your lead, that's fine, but I like also the option to have adjustable zigs. Okay, so I got hold of a couple of these the other day, and I thought, well, they would work as an adjustable zig, but how can I make it more effective? Okay, so if I just quickly push them down, when you normally buy the bolt rig or the bolt system, what it'll be is it'll be like this, okay, which is amazing. It is a very good surface controller. It does exactly what it says on the tin, and the nails carp, at distance as well. I mean, we was casting the bigger ones, 120 yards, and Terry Edmonds, my God, I don't know where you wouldn't see it, mate. It's the horizon. He can do it. But this size is perfect for me, and also why it's perfect is because it works really well on adjustable zig. So I thought, how can I make it more effective? Because tangles are the main problem when you're fishing adjustable zigs. So when I was fishing it, when I tried it out like this, I just the hook link was going to come and wrap. It was making me paranoid. Okay, so what I thought was I actually took the inner tube out. What it is, it's just got a little ridge on there. Yeah. Okay, and reversed it. I mean, it's the most simple thing ever. Yeah. But then what you got is the actual hook link. I also use a tail rubber, just stuck over the top. So what you got there is your hook link will now come off there. So when it's in flight, it's actually effectively pushing.
I got you.
Do you get me? Pushing the line away. Yeah, because that's the main thing with adjustable zigs, is getting them out there. Yeah, and if you're punching them at distance, I don't need the paranoia of them wrapping around or anything like that. So reverse of one of these is then instantly it's alive. Could instantly present it better, and it was sitting better as well off the lead. It was sitting upright like this, and I think that's perfect with a 4 foot. I mean, if you're fishing shallow lakes, then obviously you're not going to be using adjustable. Yeah. But anything over about 7 foot, I'd be sticking one of these on, and then 4 foot. So then you can get your casting distance out. And I've been playing around with them for a little while now, and I think, well, we'll see this spring.
Yeah, it looks like a good bit of kit. We'll have to come back here and see what the results are. But yeah,
well, maybe in March. We're off to Sandy in March, aren't we? Yeah. So I'm going to be fishing predominantly zigs on Sandy. We'll see how we get on. But yeah, that's the contents of my bucket right now. There. Okay.
Yeah.